The roof, the roof, the roof is on fire. Hey, we don't need no water. Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Kara here from K's Ways. Of course, my K Squad is a huge favorite of mine, but today we're going to be discussing my 2020 beauty favorites. Back in when it was time to do my 2019 favorites, I didn't get around to filming it. So I should have the notes still on my phone where it had documented my favorites. So I'm thinking about doing a rewind 2019 favorites video as well. If that's something you're interested in, let me know down in the comments below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into these 2020 beauty favorites. Yeah, we'll keep the palettes for later on, and I'm just gonna go in the order that I normally do my makeup in, which is I usually start with my brows. So if you've been on my channel for any given time, you already know the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil is my all-time favorite. It's been a favorite for maybe like the last 2 years now. Back in 2020, Benefit and Ipsy, they had sent over a box of goodies, and I was able to try out the 24-hour brow setter. And this brow setting gel is so bomb. First of all, I want to show you guys the unique wand that it has. So it's flat on the sides of the wand, and then both sides have bristles. So what I normally do, how I apply it, is I'll take that flat side and I'll apply the gel on my eyebrow, and then I'll take the bristles and go ahead and comb them up, shape them how I want it, and then my brows stay locked in all day. They say 24-hour brow setter, and they really do stay locked, but they don't feel crunchy. That was the thing about the ABH brow setter. That used to be my favorite brow setting gel, because they'll definitely keep them in place, but it would be crunchy feeling. I didn't like that feeling. I like for my brows to feel like natural hair, so this doesn't. So this is definitely my favorite for 2020. Now, I'm not one that primes every single day or every time I do my makeup. Now that I'm older now, I do try to prime a little bit more often, only because I like to have that barrier between my skincare and the actual makeup. So that's what primer is for me. Now that I'm a little older now, I can understand why primer is so necessary. So I have two primers here. One is from NYX. This is the NYX Honey Do Me Up Primer. I've always wanted to try this because they said it was like a serum. If I'm not mistaken, it is a serum. I don't see anything on the bottle that actually says it, but when I purchased it, that's what intrigued me more about it, because this was more skincare geared. So it has like them gold flecks in it that's similar to like that YSL primer. If you look at it, you see how it's like stringy? It really is like honey. To me, that just helps everything stick on. Like the makeup will definitely stick on. It does get a little bit messy when you apply it, but as you smooth it into your skin, it's just nice and smooth. It feels so soft and silky. Really nice primer. Has a really nice light smell to it as well. Nothing too overpowering, and it'll just dissipate once you go ahead and apply the rest of your makeup. So I really like that one. If you're looking for an affordable option, now this one is pricey. So pricey that I only have a sample, and I've been rocking with this sample since I got it. So this is the Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas. I actually have the original version, another mini, but I have the original silk canvas, and you can see I definitely used that as well. I was a fan of this one. It's really nice for like my center, my T-zone area, where I can smooth out my pores, and it just makes everything look nice and smooth and flawless. So I really did like the balm, but when they came out with the liquid version, first of all, to me the liquid version is like a step above where this primer was. In my opinion, it's a little bit more hydrating. To me, this one, the balm left like a soft matte finish, where this one is a little bit more hydrating. It's more of a cream, so I'm able to actually blend this all over my face. With the balm, like I said, I would concentrate it more on the T-zone because of it, that soft matte finish that it would give me. But with this, being that it's more hydrating, I just put it all over everywhere, and I have no problems with this. And I'll probably, at some point, probably when the new VIB sale comes, or if Tatcha has a sale on their website, I will definitely most likely pick up. Hopefully they have a mini, because I'm cheap, y'all, I'm cheap. But I'll definitely be picking up a bottle of it in some kind of form. Don't let me get another sample, because this sample has definitely lasted me some months. So yeah, those are my two primers. And now, you know, with me and concealers, I have plenty of concealers to talk about, because that is my normal go to work kind of thing. I usually just put on concealer, put on some powder, make sure it blends all over, everything is looking nice and even, and I'm good to go. I just need a good concealer just to conceal like the hyperpigmentation and like them dark circles underneath my eyes. The first concealer I want to talk about is actually the concealer that I use today. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Long Wear Concealer. 2 shades. I have the shade number 165 D10, and then I have 175 Warm Chestnut. The Warm Chestnut for me, I use more as a color correcting concealer, and then I go in with the 165 in order to brighten it up. And I don't have 2 colors on purpose, but I'm not mad that I do. I had ended up, when I first got the 175, no, it was this one. When I first got 165, I ended up losing it in my collection for a long time. Come to find out, it was in the drawer, but like behind the drawer. So when I pulled out the drawers to clean it, there it was behind it. So I'm so happy to find it again. And by that time, I had already repurchased a different color, which to me is like a skin tone color. So I'm happy to have the 2 to mix them up. And that's going to be a recurring theme that you're going to see in my concealers. Most concealers, well not most, but I usually buy concealers and I'll buy 2 shades because I like to have that balance. When I want and choose to actually brighten up my concealer, I will do so. I'll either have like a perfect skin tone match of concealer, or I will have a color correcting concealer, which you may or may not know, I do have eczema, so I try to cancel out the darkness above my mouth. And then like I said, underneath my eyes, these bags, they definitely need to be color corrected as well. So you'll find that that's a recurring theme with my concealers, that I have 2 shades. The Milani concealer has a nice flat but flexible, see it is flexible applicator, so it makes it nice and easy. It's a nice smooth application. It blends out really nice and smooth. I do want to make a note of these Milani concealers. They smell terrible. I do want to mention that, like, it smells like straight like taint thinner or something. Like, I don't know. It's very harsh and chemically smelling. So that is one thing that I will say about these Milani concealers. But these are concealers that I find that once you actually blend them out, they actually set themselves. So you don't necessarily have to go in with a powder with these concealers. Now these were baked all year. That's the point of this video, right? So these are the concealers from Pat McGrath Labs. I have 2 shades again. So we have MD23 and then I have MD27. And again, MD27 I use as my skin tone / color correcting shade, and then I'll go in with the MD23 if I want some brightness. But this one, this concealer, oh, now these are the most creamy when it comes to Pat's applicator. You see how it has that little slant to it, so it just like fits perfectly like in the little corners, and you want to draw your little lines there. This is just so nice, and it's like a nice, almost like a moussey consistency. Like, it's nice, it's a creamy mousse. And that's also a flexible applicator, not as flexible as the Milani one. I never have any problems with like going into the corners and the curves or anything. It just glides really smoothly. There's no patches or anything like that. So another concealer, this, it just looks so flawless. And we'll get into more Pat McGrath later on, because when they drop these concealers, they also drop the powder, which is chef's kiss, okay? Now, when it comes to this concealer that I'm gonna talk about, I'm not feeling Hourglass right now. Like, oh well, it's the Hourglass concealer. So this, like, I had damn near, I'm like all the way down to here with this concealer. You can't tell because I usually lay my products flat, but you'll see like a lot of this product is done. And I love this concealer when it came out. This is the Velvet Vanish Concealer, if I'm not mistaken, or I always get this mixed up. I'm gonna have to go back to my Sephora orders, and I'll link everything down in the description box below so you can check it out. I always get this confused because the way they have it labeled is stupid. Hourglass is stupid. Actually, I'm not even gonna link this one because nobody should be giving Hourglass none of their coins. They really, even though I'm sitting here, I'm holding a concealer that caters to me. When it comes to their ambient products, I've actually mentioned a couple of times here on my channel how this Hourglass Ambient Blush Palette, this was the one from 2019. I was so excited for it. As a matter of fact, okay, so it started out with this one. I purchased this one, what was this, like 2015, 2016, whenever this came out? I don't even remember. But this is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. Oh, mine looks a hot ass mess. Sorry y'all, and I hope I'm not blinding y'all with the light, but I just want to show y'all, like, I really love this palette. Like, but the thing is, look at them shades. Them shades really can't do anything for me. The good thing about these powders is more like a finishing powder. So actually, I believe this was in my favorites like numerous times as well. And even to this day, I still open up this palette and use it. So that's why it looks a hot mess. But I would have to mix all three of the shades if I wanted to get any use out of these two shades. If I didn't, I would focus more on that one shade at the end, which is not even the darkest shade for people that would be of deeper skin tones as myself. So it started out with that ambient lighting powder palette. Then I think the year after that they had came out with the same concept, but it was all blushes. So I went ahead, I purchased that. I was so excited. The blushes didn't work for me. I do have some Hourglass blushes that does work for me. My favorite being the Radiant Magenta. That's an all-time fave. And then last year I purchased, this is not in my favorites, but last year I purchased At Night. And I've been using it, I like it, but you know, as a matter of fact, this might go nice with my look today. But that's not the point that I have here. I'm not trying to like go on and on about Hourglass, but I do want to make note of this in this video. So I mentioned to you guys that in 2019, when I purchased this holiday blush palette, these colors look like they should work for me. Like, it's not like they're so light or anything, but I'm gonna swatch them. And that's what they look like swatched on my arm. Like, it's barely anything. And once I actually go to blend them out, maybe like that one, oh, that's exactly what it was. It was that one top shade that worked for me. What is that? This is like a $60 palette and you're making it for one shade, one blush shade to work with like every skin tone. Like, it just doesn't make, well, I should say 4 deeper skin tones, because everything will work if you're lighter, but, and you have to be of a certain lightness. Like for this, I mean, it was called the Ghost palette, but it's like, it don't have to be ghost on your skin. Like, it doesn't make sense if you're paying like $50, $60 for a palette. So all that to say, like I said, this was like bae for a long time, and I am gonna finish it up. And the coverage on this was really nice. The way it blended out was really nice. It was smooth. It didn't like settle into fine lines or make anything look like dry and crusty underneath my eyes. This was like a more of a moussey texture formula. A nice and flexible little applicator here. And this was bae, but then I just can't rock with Hourglass. I just can't rock with what Hourglass is doing now. There's a whole thing. I'll actually go ahead and link Charlotte's video down in the comment section below. I mean, down in the description box below, so you can check her out. She's not a woman of color, but found it important enough to actually put this video out there and show what they did and show how Hourglass just straight played women of color. And there's a whole story behind it. Samantha Rappenthal was involved in it. She worked for Hourglass. She was the first one to say that she didn't want to work with her anymore, but until they became more inclusive. And that's the point that I'm trying to make at the end of the day. Hourglass is not inclusive, and if that's the case, then I won't be including my coins. So I'm not going to link that concealer. It is a good one. It was a favorite. I'm not going to front. It was a favorite of 2020, but no, just no. Rant is over. Alright, I am going to get back on the happy side here, and I'm going to talk about some more concealers that I love. These were the Juvia's Place concealers. I picked these up later on in the year, last year, and I really like these concealers. Like, first of all, they're nice and round like myself. And, oh, in case you're wondering, I got the number 9 and I got number 12. And to me, they look like the same in the packaging, but you can tell the difference in like the undertones of that. Super big doe foot wand here for application. Now this one is not so flexible. It's very stiff, as a matter of fact. It reminds me of like the Sharp. I always say that. It reminds me of like that Tarte Shape Tape applicator actually. This one is really nice. Again, I go for anything that's really nice and smooth, doesn't look old underneath my eyes, blends out really nicely, doesn't blend out too quickly. Really nice concealers. Again, on the affordable side, if you're looking for a more affordable concealer, definitely check out the Juvia's Place concealers. And then last but not least, let's talk about this Rare Beauty concealer. This, I never even got a chance to get back to you guys after I did that VIB sale haul, but I definitely have been testing out my products. I've used quite a bit of this, and my Rare Beauty concealer is in the shade 440C. Nice little cute packaging. This one doesn't have like the fullest coverage, but I just think it looks like nice and pretty underneath my eyes. Like, it does enough so that, you know, my dark circles are not showing through. But with this one, I normally do apply 2 layers of this concealer. So I'm going to put that out there. So I find myself, I will end up going through this a little faster. That's why we buy makeup, right? You want to go through it. You want to use it up. So I get happy when I see products being used up. So this one I have been using. I will be continuing to use. It's really nice concealer, and it made it to my favorite. So that's saying something. Now, since I was talking about the Rare Beauty concealer, that'll lead me right into my foundations, because the Rare Beauty foundation is one that I definitely highly have been loving ever since I've been trying it out. It's actually the foundation that I have on my face today. My foundation I've purchased in the shade 450N. Now this actually goes on like a soft matte, like it's almost like a sponge-like texture. Well, do y'all remember when I first bought it and opened it and spilled it on my pants? That I won't do that again. But this has that also the same kind of doe foot applicator, where it's nice and stiff. It gives me that, remember Clinique had that foundation that had the doe foot applicator? Has that same kind of similarity to that. But when this goes on, it just feels like you're putting nothing on your face. It's like so sponge-like and nice and soft. I don't know, there's something in this that just makes it just blend so nicely. It doesn't take a long time to blend. Everything looks so nice and smooth. And like I said, it's what I have on today. I have been enjoying this, and it made it to my 2020 favorites. Now, I absolutely love the NARS. This is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. As you can see, like half of my bottle is gone. This is definitely a foundation that carried over from 2019, but I always reach for this foundation. My shade is in the shade Macau. Now, I know everybody featured the soft matte version, which is right here in my hand. I know everyone featured this in their 2020 favorites, but I didn't try this until this year. And I'll be sharing my thoughts on this foundation with you guys in upcoming weeks. I actually have a try-on haul. Well, I filmed a try-on haul. That was the second video. I told you guys I had to delete. I had filmed a try-on haul to let you guys know what my thoughts were. I'll be refilming that video, and you'll see application of this product in that video. But since we're talking about matte foundations, this is the one that I had tried last year, and I really did like it. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Matte 24-Hour Undetectable Super Longwear Foundation. The funny thing about this is I am a person that has dry skin, but when it comes to my foundations, I can go either way as long as I prep my skin the right way. If I apply a matte foundation, I would go in with more hydrating products like in my skincare routine, and then make sure that is all set in before I actually go in with that foundation. Or vice versa, if I'm going with something a little bit more hydrating, maybe I will matte out my T-zone because of the fact I get oily in those areas, or if I'm gonna sweat or anything like that. So it's all about skin prep when it comes down to these things. But I said all that to say, with the Too Faced, this is the original one. This is the Born This Way Undetectable Medium to Full Coverage Foundation. And this was meant to be more like skin light. Tried the initial color that I had. I can't remember what the name of that shade was at that time, but I wasn't a fan of that foundation. But when Jackie Aina collaborated with Too Faced, they expanded the shade range. I was like, oh, maybe it was the shade that made me not like it. So let me get another one. Picked up the shade Chai, and I still didn't like it, y'all. So I was like, when they came out with this, matte version, I was like, maybe I'll like that. And I was right. I do like this one. This one, it says it's a 24-hour wear. That's one thing about Too Faced and their products. Like, for me, it's all day wear. I was ride or die for that Too Faced concealer. I still am, as a matter of fact. You might have seen it in my, if you saw the boxy backlog that I did, you saw that I got another one of the concealers. Love that concealer, and now I'm happy to have a foundation in the line that I love as well. Comes with a pump here. You get a full fluid ounce of product. And this one I picked up in the shade Chestnut. So the shade matches a little lighter as well. If I'm not mistaken, Chestnut was the shade of the foundation that I had the first time. So it wasn't the shade. It was just the fact that I just did not like the original. But thankfully, the matte version made it to my 2020 favorites, wears nice long wearing, doesn't dry out my skin, doesn't look unnatural or anything like that. Alright, now y'all know I love me some affordable beauty, but when it came to foundations, there was only one that I tried last year that I thought I can discuss in today's video. Before I discuss this foundation, I do want to give a disclaimer. This is not the longest wearing foundation in the world, okay? Not even close. But when you put it on your skin, it looks really, really nice. It's affordable, so I felt like it was worth mentioning. I do have favorite drugstore foundations that I had bought in years prior, and that'll probably be a video that we address later on this year. But as of last year, the only one that I tried that I feel that is worthy enough of my best of 2020 is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hydrating Foundation. It comes with a pump. Like, I love a foundation with a pump, that's not like such a big deal anymore, because regardless, I'm pumping it in the back of my hand, I'm squeezing it out on the back of my hand, what does it matter, right? But in case you're wondering, I picked up mine in the shade 175W. I don't remember how good the shade match is, because I honestly haven't worn this in a while, but I will do a video, because now that I brought it out and knowing that it's not the longest wearing foundation that I have in my collection, like I remember wearing this to work, and then halfway through the day, like I went to the bathroom and I was like, what the is my makeup? Like, what happened? And you know, of course we're wearing masks now, so you know, of course that's gonna factor into it. I feel like this would be a good foundation to combine with the Fenty Beauty powder that I just recently released, and I have a full video of that. If you're interested, go ahead and check that out. I feel like that'll be a good combination to mix with this one, being like I said, this doesn't have the longevity, but it's really pretty on the skin. It looks really nice, really smooth. I like the fact that it has hyaluronic acid, it has coconut water, so it's like kind of, I don't want to say nutritional, but it's kind of, there's good ingredients in here for your skin. So I would like to get more wear out of it. I wore it a couple of times, not necessarily something that I reach for, just knowing that it didn't last so long. But if it's something that I can use here for like filming, nice and affordable, like hello. It's always good to have an affordable option, and this is mine. I had another foundation that I really wasn't a fan of. So that even more, if I'm not mistaken, and I may have it around here somewhere. I think I have a ColourPop box somewhere. But even more so of a reason why this one is good. It feels good, it looks good, but it just doesn't last. Now there's no way that I can talk about foundation without talking about my Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Blurring Powder Foundation. This right here, this was my go-to foundation. I told you, I'm a girl. I like to do my concealer. I'll set my concealer and then I'll bust out one of my powder foundations for all around the face, just to make sure everything is nice, blended, seamless, or you know, looks like one face. This is what I would use. It's lasted me for a long time at this point. If I'm not mistaken, I purchased this back in 2019. I reach for this all the time when I want to do something. For me, I like powder foundations because to me it's like so quick and easy. You don't have to think too hard. You don't have to worry about like putting foundation on the back of your hand or anything. You just dip your powder, you dip your brush in there, and you buff it out all around your face, and you are good to go. So this one definitely had to mention in my best of beauty for 2020. So now that leaves me in two powders. I'm going to talk about one loose powder, and then I also have two pressed powders as well. So my loose powder choice for best of beauty 2020, it is from DJ's Unique Boutique. On the front it says DJ's Boutique. My loose powder is in the shade Honey, and this will give Laura Mercier, I said it, this gives Laura Mercier, my holy grail, the transparent loose setting powder, medium deep. This gives her a run for her money. I love the shade Honey. As a matter of fact, Laura Mercier, in 2020 they released the Honey shade to that powder, which I've used the translucent, the regular one, and then they came up the medium deep. Rocking with that for years, but now I'm rocking with DJ. This gives Laura Mercier a run for her money, to the point where I even took out the little plastic piece that will hold the powder in, because if I don't like the powder, I don't want too much of it. I want all the smoke, all the smoke, yeah. This one is in the shade Honey, but like I was saying, Laura Mercier dropped her Honey shade last year. DJ dropped hers, and I went with DJ's, tried it, loved it, and I don't see no reason for me to actually purchase another Laura Mercier at the moment when I have a full one of the medium deep, and then I have DJ's Honey. What more can I ask for? So if you haven't already, check out DJ's Unique Boutique. Everything that I'm talking about will be listed and linked down in the comment section below. Go ahead and show her some love. She's a fellow YouTuber here. I'll link her channel for you guys as well so you can check her out. Her boutique sells these powders. She has 2 eyeshadow palettes. I'm not sure if the holiday palette is still available for sale right now. But like I said, everything will be linked and listed for you guys down in the comments below. She has sunglasses, accessories. Oh, I actually have 2 pair of her earrings right here. She has accessories, earrings. She has sunglasses. Her daughter, if I'm not mistaken, she also sells some lip glosses on there. So go ahead, check out her channel, check out her boutique, show her some love, and let her know KSW sent you. I go over my loose powder with this under eye powder underneath. Let me tell you, Pat McGrath Labs, the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. This is 4 grams of powder, and I got mine in the shade Deep. When I tell you, if you use this powder, everything will be so smooth and like flaws away. There is no flaws up under here, up underneath my eyes. Everything looks so blurred, so smooth, and just super flawless. One downfall to this powder, I will tell you, it like brings up a lot of smoke and everything. Like all the smoke, talk about all the smoke, like I'm telling you. So you see how there's like little particles of powder around there? Me, I'll like tiptoe around that area and try to get every last crumb. Try not to waste any of this powder because, I mean, 4 grams of powder, I've had it for a while and it seems to be lasting a pretty decent amount of time, but it is a smaller compact. Granted, you're only using it on small places on your face anyway, so, and then when you combine it with her concealer, let me tell y'all, it looks so good, so flawless, and I have no complaints whatsoever. Except, can we get a bigger one for like the all over the face? Can we get an all face, like, come on. But I do have one for all over the face. I have my Charlotte Tilbury powder. So this I discovered last year. I have been loving it, using it like all the time. You can see I definitely hit pan. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder. Mine is in the shade number 3 Dark. I am aware that she just recently, well, later on in 2020, she had released another shade, which is number 4. I think they can expand that a little bit more, but you know, baby steps, right? But this, going in with number 3, it doesn't change like the color of my foundation or anything. This is more of a finishing powder, like a last step all over buffing powder, just to make sure like there's no harsh lines or anything and go all over. Doesn't change the shade of my foundation. Looks so pretty on the skin. Like I just be feeling like a freaking movie star or something. That's what these products do to you. It just makes you feel so flawless, so confident, and just beautiful. So beautiful powder. If you want quality, you gotta pay for it, and I don't mind paying for it. I'm actually considering getting the number 4 because I want to do a comparison to number 3 and number 4 just so I know which one will work better for me. And I think that the best time to do that would be when I have number 3, right? I'm so caught up in powders and everything that I completely skipped over the cream products that I use. But this is no secret on this channel. I have used the heck out of the Fenty Beauty cream. What are these? These are the Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Blushes. This one is in the shade Summertime Wine. This one is my favorite. And then not far behind is Rose Latte, which is, you would have seen me use this one in the Fenty Beauty Powder Foundation video. And I'm pretty sure you may have seen me use the Summertime Wine when I did my full face of Fenty Beauty. So both of those videos will be linked down in the description box below, just in case you want to see these products in action. But these are nice, buildable. They're sheer, but still buildable. Doesn't look cakey or anything like that. It blends out really nicely, and the colors are just bomb. Love those cream blushes. And then also, you can't forget the cream bronzer. Like anytime you saw me, I can remember me sitting here filming and constantly saying many a days that I'm wearing my Fenty cream bronzer topped off with my Fenty powder bronzer. Like this combination right here is the truth. So I'm not going to spend too much time on these. Again, I just did that Fenty video probably a couple of videos back, so you can check that out if you want to see it. But this chocolate cream bronzer, and then after it's set and I go on top with the Cocoa Naughty bronzer, perfection. Like I love that look. It was the perfect look for me. And even though I purchased the the powder bronzer back in 2019. It carried over as a favorite into 2020 because these two were inseparable for me, and I absolutely love this combination. It's something that you always see me wear, and I will continue to do so. One last cream slash powder product that I want to talk about was the Patrick Ta blush. I kind of want to pick up another one of these blushes only because I don't reach for this particular shade so much in these colder months. I feel like I need one designated for the time now, but come springtime I'm definitely going to be busting this out. But this is the Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Blush. This one's in the shade She's That Girl. Beautiful little compact here with a beautiful mirror there. This cream shade has a lid there so your powder doesn't mix into there or anything and like spoil the product. I like the formula, and the thing about this was Patrick Ta made me look at powder and cream blushes differently because Patrick Ta, if you don't know, is a makeup artist, and the way he formulated these is that you actually apply your powder blush first and you would top it off with this cream. And when I did that, yeah, it looked so good. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but I do like a glowy kind of cheek sometimes. And that's what this does. When you do it like that with this combination that he gave us, like, it looks so pretty. And I wore it towards the warmer months, like when it's still warm outside. I loved it. And like I said, it's just because of the shade that I don't reach for it as often as I should. But this formula is so bomb, and I'm definitely probably thinking about getting another one of these products really soon. So again, that's the Patrick Ta She's That Girl Double Take Cream and Powder Blush. Y'all still hear that? As I know it's a long video, but it's so good. Speaking of the shimmery blush that I have on my cheeks today, I am rocking another Charlotte Tilbury product. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic blush in Walk of No Shame. Now, I got introduced into the Charlotte Tilbury blushes. I was watching It's Lori's Life here on YouTube. She had bought the, what is this? Pillow Talk Intense blush. And when we seen it, when it came out, it was like, oh, black girls, this is our time to shine with Charlotte Tilbury. She came out with a blush for us. This is the intense version. Pillow Talk, you know, is one of her most favorite products. I mean, one of her most famous products. And her coming out with the intense version was a big deal. I went ahead and picked it up. And while I like it, I don't know, Walk of No Shame is just my thing. This one here, and I just feel like it gives like that nice youthful glow. It looks so pretty on the skin. So while, yeah, I do like Pillow Talk Intense, but my favorite, Best of Beauty 2020, most definitely has to be Walk of No Shame. Love this blush. I have two more blushes that I want to talk about real quick. I actually picked this up way early in the year, last year, and this was my go-to more towards the beginning of the year. This is the L'Oreal Paradise Enchanted blush in Charming. It was just a nice, natural, I wouldn't say natural, yeah, natural, because look how it blends into the skin. It's like a natural, everyday go-to. You don't know what kind of blush to put on, this one would work for me. So I definitely used this a lot during the beginning of 2020. And then I remember at some point in time last year, I had placed the order for e.l.f. And this Always Fiery blush, like, oh my goodness. Like, the pigmentation on this thing, and this is the matte blush. I love matte blushes. Look at that swatch. This orangey, fiery. They say fiery, it's not really red. I do have a red blush from NARS, so it's not as intense as the NARS one, but this one just looks really pretty on the skin. Like when it was like summertime, this was one of my go-to blushes that I would like to wear. Again, affordable. e.l.f., L'Oreal, very affordable brands, and quality at that. So this definitely made it to my best of beauty for 2020. We're almost there, guys. So highlight. I didn't buy any highlighters for the whole year of 2020, if I can recall. I don't think I purchased any highlighters until Sephora VIB sale during the fall. And when I tell you, I use this highlighting palette every time I do my makeup. It's not even a game. This is the Dior Backstage Glow Face palette. This one is in the shade Copper Gold. I even went to Sephora like a week or two ago, and I was looking for more of the palettes, but they don't sell the Dior Backstage in the Sephora that I went to, so I didn't get a chance to get another one. I'm looking at that rose gold one though. But be careful when you get these because this shade here pops out for me. This was actually my replacement one. So when I first got it, 2 of my shades popped out. And then the second one, only 1 was bad. So I went ahead and switched the one that had broken the other one, and then I returned the other one. That's how that went. So, and see, so that shit. One here, it says it's glitter coral. Glitter is right. It gives so much glitter. I actually did go ahead and mix 1, 2, 3 shades on my face today, and I don't know if you can see it, but my face is definitely glittery. I always see it when I use it. The glitter is definitely noticeable. But if I'm going and just mix my normal 2 regulars, I don't get as much of the glitter. I hardly ever use that darkest one, but it's good to know that they even have a shade that I wouldn't use. I can use, but I just don't. But I love this. Like, it blends so smoothly. Like, that sheen, to me, I don't know. I know y'all gotta be catching this highlight. Like, to me, it's everything. I know some people are straying away from highlighter. That ain't me. I still highlight. Oh, I lied. I do have another highlighting product, but I didn't buy this one. The brand actually sent it to me, and I'm not featuring it in this video because they sent it to me. I'm featuring it because I definitely reach for it all the time, and I'm talking about the Benefit Cookie Highlighter. Now, when I got this, I was so happy to get it, first of all, because I was not going to pay the money for it because Benefit's products don't necessarily always cater to women of color. So I would look at it, look at this, like, I didn't think it would be good for women of color, but when I tell you, listen, I had to get a brush to show y'all. When I tell you, when you put this top on, like, I wouldn't use it as a, you know, the way I went in with my Dior highlighter, I wouldn't do that. But what I do is I take a little bit of the highlight and I just focus it on like that highest point of my cheekbones. You see that? Can y'all see it? I would focus it right there, just for like that highlight to my highlight, you know? I am so glad that I tried this highlighter. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Like, when you want that, y'all see me? Y'all see me? Did y'all see that pop? When you want to do it to them, I would bust out Cookie Highlighter, and I was doing it, especially come summertime. That's when I really like to radiate and glow. Like, I'm giving y'all that kind of glowiness today in my face today, but Cookie, I'm so glad. And this is going to last me forever. If I'm just tapping into it the way I'm tapping into it now, this is going to last me forever. So thank you so much, Benefit, for sending this over. I love Benefit, I love Benefit brow products, as we talked about earlier in the video, and I'm so happy they went ahead and sent over their highlight. And I think this next product is kind of predictable at this point. I love bronzer. Y'all know I love bronzer, and a big old bronzer like this that just blends so smooth and looks so flawless. Look at my face, like, y'all can tell I'm bronzed up, right? So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. This is in the shade Deep 4. How many did she come out with? Did she come out with 5 of these? Or is this the darkest shade? I can't remember. This may be the darkest shade of this bronzer. But you get so much product, y'all. Like, when will I ever need another bronzer? Same finely milled, flawless finish that her face powder has that I was telling you guys about earlier. I can definitely see me actually using it, but it's not like a dusty powder when I talked about like the Pat McGrath. So like when you put your brush in, things are not flying up. I just feel like it stayed together really nicely. And I just feel like I'll have this product for a good amount of time. I love bronzer, and I love to try different bronzers and everything like that. I just bought a new bronzer. Can y'all guess which bronzer it is? It's pricey. It's a pricey bronzer, guys. Let me know down in the comments if you know which one I'm talking about. But yeah, this one, at first I didn't want to pay the money for it, but I've been really a big fan of Charlotte Tilbury all of 2020. So she's a brand that I definitely tried within 2020 and fell in love with. And at that point, I was already knee deep in it. So I said, oh, why just not, let's take the full plunge, you know what I'm saying? So I went ahead, spent the coins on it, and I have no regrets. This is definitely a best of beauty for 2020. With the eyes, I definitely have to shout this product out because it is a game changer. When I tell you, this Kiss Lash Glue and Eyeliner in one, Oh my gosh, game changer, y'all. This helps you put on your lashes so quick, so easy. All you do is draw the line just like you're drawing like a regular little, you know, put it on like regular eyeliner, and then you pop your lash on like there's no wait time in between. Honestly, you're supposed to use it with a clean, like no makeup underneath. You know I don't listen, I ain't following any rules. I did it today, had no problem putting on my lashes, and anytime I put on lashes, I'm reaching for this eyeliner from the day that I actually opened this package to every day after that I put on lashes. It's always gonna be with this Kiss liner. Now, Kiss Lash Glue was always my favorite, but this is a game changer. Again, this is what the packaging looks like. Go ahead and go out and get it. If you have a problem with putting on eyelashes, like I didn't have to bend and look over into the mirror or anything. Let me tell you, I had my handheld mirror. I just thought that was cool because I just pop it on like nothing. Like, it's so quick and easy, guys. This is definitely a game-changing product. Highly, highly recommended. Alright guys, we did it. We are almost to the end. So let's talk about some lip products. Starting off with the lip product that I have on my lips right now. This is the Fenty Beauty Slip Shine Sheer Shine Lipstick. And this one is in the shade 07 Goji Gang. Like, look how dirty. I use this like nobody's business. Like, I'm gonna touch up here. I use this all the time. And when I be like, oh, I don't know what to put on my lips, it's either this or it's the original Gloss Bomb. And when I did my review, well, when I did the video featuring these products, I told you, and I still stand behind it, this is like the Gloss Bomb in a stick form. Like, it gives that same shine, same amount of pigmentation, not too overbearing with the pigmentation. Like right now I have it with the lip liner on just to give it a little bit more depth, but it goes on so nicely. I can wear this without even wearing makeup and it still wouldn't look like strange to me. So these lip shines I highly recommend. I actually have 2 in my collection. I think I have 2 of these. Plenty of gloss bombs. I absolutely love the gloss bomb. Definitely continued favorites. I literally just grabbed my bougie drawer of my favorite lip products. I have videos on all of these, so I'm not going to spend too much time on them. They'll be listed and linked down in the description box below. But the Maybelline The Maybelline Super Stay Matte Ink Lipsticks. Love those. I've been a fan of those for years at this point. But then when they came out with this coffee collection, they didn't make it for us women of color, but that's what it felt like. Like, look at the packaging. It's nice and chocolatey brown, just like us. Like, how could you not love that? Oh my God, Proper Beauty. They came out proper for real. Like, their lipsticks are so smooth, so creamy, and these aren't matte though. These are satin, which it's been a minute. They actually were the one, no, I'm lying. I'll tell you who was the one that actually got me to transition into satins again. If you're looking for matte lipsticks, these Juvia's Place, like the packaging on these are everything. The formula on these are everything. They're not like that drying, over drying, crack your lips kind of matte. No ma'am. If you want to see swatches on all of these products, you can definitely check out. I'll link my lip swatch playlist so you can check out. You can just sit there, see lip swatches for days. Lip swatches are some of my favorite videos to do. And then one I mentioned to you guys not too long ago, and I've been rocking this all last year. Oh, I only have 1 shade of these. This is the Artist Couture. If I'm not mistaken, this is called the satin lipstick as well. This is another satin, and this is the one that made me fall in love with the satin formula. So Adore Me, like, even though it looks like it could be like chalky, like, no ma'am, no, that has no chalk to it. The beauty in this lipstick is so smooth, not patchy. It wears nicely. The formula is very comfortable, and more importantly, that color is freaking gorgeous. Absolutely love this. That one I definitely had to swatch for you guys, but if you want to see any of those other lipsticks, again, definitely check out the playlist. I'll link it for you guys so you can see the rest of those lip products in action. Really quickly, I want to talk about some tools, and then we'll go ahead and get into the eyeshadow palettes. I hate to show y'all dirty sponges, but I do want to make note of really quickly, I want to show you guys the sponges that I had purchased from 5 O'Clock Beauty. You've heard me mention 5 O'Clock Beauty on this channel previous times. I always talk about her moisturizing lip serum, and then later on last year she had released some sponges. I picked up these, well, it was purple, guys. I picked up purple set, and I also picked up 2 of the like cotton candy unicorn kind of color, and the other one is dirty as well. But I wanted to give note to that. That was one of my favorite sponges that I had tried last year. I had sent Babe a link a long time ago actually of these BK Beauty brushes, and I got them for Christmas. So I tried them last year, absolutely loved them. More so the foundation brush, the 101, again, is dirty because I just used it. You saw it in the demo. But it has that flat, I don't know, can y'all tell that it has an angle to this brush? So it just like pushes up against the foundation and blends everything out so smoothly. The 102 brush I've been using more for, I don't know why I switched them today. I went in with bronzer with this one, and then the 104 is the one that I should have used it as bronzer, but I switched them. They're interchangeable. You can use it for powder, you can use it for brush, for blush, you can use it for like under eye setting, like really good brushes. So good that I ended up buying 2 more myself when she had the after Christmas sale. They were 25% off. So I purchased the 105 brush, which is a nice dense brush, which you would have saw in action in that Fenty Beauty powder foundation brush. I literally bought it knowing that I was gonna actually use it with that powder foundation. And then I purchased the 108 brush, which is what I prefer to actually clean up underneath my eyes. It just blends so nicely up underneath there. Now my rougher brushes that I had purchased, I told you guys I wasn't using them at first, but when I started using them, let me tell you, I use these brushes. So let's start in order. So the number 1, 2, and 3 brushes are the eye brushes, and when I tell you, they blend out so nicely. Like, I don't think, ever since I started using these brushes with my eye makeup, I just feel like my eye makeup, it is like going from e.l.f. brushes to Sigma brushes, and now I've leveled up again with these rougher brushes. These are actual natural hair brushes, and I am in the, like, so we have the nice fluffy brush, which I like to use in my crease. Then you have your packing brush for your lid shades, and then you have a nice pencil brush for precision. You can use that on your outer V, you can use it to draw your line, you can go underneath. Like, I love these brushes. And then also, I think it's called like the basic set or the core collection. That's what this rougher set is. It comes with those 5 brushes. So then I have the number 4, which is I use the tip of this brush for my highlighter, and then I'll go in with the rest of the brush for my blush. And then the number 5 brush, I prefer this one for a more concentrated bronzer kind of situation. So I will concentrate it more towards the upper portion of my face and like right around the perimeter of my hairline. Love these brushes. So I definitely wanted to mention those because even though I tried those later in the year, I am so happy with those purchases, and I think they were well worth my money. So I have no complaints with those purchases. I would also mention the Sephora Pro brushes, but Sephora done played us. They done changed their brushes, so they're not the same anymore. So I can't necessarily say my Sephora brush number 50 is a fave, because I don't think the number 50 is the same number 50 that they have currently available. Those I love those Sephora brushes, but that's the only reason I'm not featuring them in this video. I just want to make that disclaimer. Yes, so we are in the home stretch. We are now up to palettes, which I know are some of your favorites. Me personally, I am all about that base. So all those base products, those make me happy. Not that eyeshadow doesn't, because this eyeshadow look that I have today, I am so feeling this look. But I'm just one that when I'm going to work on an everyday basis, which hasn't been the case, you know why. But I don't necessarily do eyeshadows so much when I'm going to work. But now that I've been working from home more, I have been playing in my eyeshadows more. So I have a couple of palettes here that I do want to give an honorable mention. Before I get into those palettes, really quickly, I want to talk about the Makeup by Mario Prep and Set. This is their eye primer kit. This one is in the shade Deep. I always go in with this first because I feel like rather than using a thick concealer, this actually helps to smooth out my eyelids. And me, I have crepey eyelids. It is just what it is. They're hooded, they're crepey, I have lines. So this just helps to blank everything out, make it nice and smooth. And I've really been enjoying this ever since I purchased it. I reach for this every single time I do my eyeshadows these days. The only thing about this is the formula to me, I feel like the formula gets stiffer every time I use it. So honestly, I don't even want to keep it open anymore. I don't want too much air getting to it, but I feel like it gets stiffer with every use. So I don't think I'll make it through the end of the cream, at least the cream portion. The powder, I haven't had any consistency changes with the powder, but those two creams at the front, at the top, I just feel like it got like thicker and harder to blend out. So it takes me a little longer to actually smooth everything out and blend it. But once I do and set it with that powder, everything is nice and smooth and ready for eyeshadow. Are you ready for eyeshadow? Let's start off with the eyeshadow that I have on my eyes today. This is the Juvia's Place The Berries palette. As you know, Juvia's Place keeps dropping these 6-pan eyeshadow palettes and I am loving it. I have the Berries palette, which I have on my eyes today. I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 out of 6 shades on my eyes today. So I used everything except for this hot pink shadow here in the middle. But absolutely love these palettes. I have a video on my channel featuring the Mauve palette from Juvia's Place. Another one that I absolutely love. If I'm not mistaken, I also did a video. Did I do a video? Or I might have just wore it in the video. But the Nubian Coral palette. This is the Nubian 3 Coral palette from Juvia's Place. Juvia's Place, I don't know. There's just something about their pigmentation I freaking love. Like, look at the way my shimmers is on my eyes. Like, this is what I expected from that $60 palette that I purchased from Natasha Denona. But that's another story for another day. The Coral palette, so nice. And I'm so excited because I really still haven't played in these cool tone palettes, but I'm getting more into that cool tone vibe. So I will be playing with that really soon, actually. Now, when I'm talking about like these beautiful shimmers and stuff, like how could I not mention this? This is the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership Mega Celestial Divinity palette. In the couple of videos that I had, when I had on the Purple Rain shirt, I used the purple eyeshadows from this palette, y'all. I haven't even, first of all, I haven't gotten a chance to play in this red palette, this red eyeshadow as of yet. But if it looks anything like what's on my eye today, I am so here for it. I definitely dipped in plenty of these colors. The only thing about this palette, I wish it would have had more transition colors. Because for me, there's only, well, I should say 3 matte shades. There's only 3 shades here that are matte. It's this one here, that one there, and then this brown one. Like, this made me want to do my eyeshadow. Like I said, I'm not one that necessarily always does eyeshadows, but when it's something like this that gets me excited to do it, I will, okay? I'm just so happy that she actually came out with a palette with, number one, so many different shades, because if you were not familiar, I think her eyeshadow palettes usually have like 12 shades, and it'd be like $125. This has 18 shades, and it was like only $75. Like, no brainer here, guys. Y'all better go ahead and go get this while it's still available. I don't know if it's limited edition. I don't know if it was just for the holidays. But if you don't have your hands on this palette, this is definitely one that I recommend getting. Y'all, we made it to the end of this video. That was all of my best of beauty for 2020. Let me know what some of your best of beauty products was, some of your favorite products for the year. Down in the comment section below, let's have a conversation down there. If you're not already subscribed, I hope you do, because next week we will be doing my worst of 2020. And I have a couple of those as well. So hope you guys are here to catch that video. And until next time, beauties, I hope to catch you guys on the next one. Later, y'all.